What a warm summer's day here in paradise. I'm now almost 20 months into my Mounjaro journey, having lost little over 40% of my starting body weight. At the end of July 2026, I was 88.5 kilograms or 195 pounds, and for British viewers that amounts to about 14 stone. And this month my weight has been yo-yoing a bit. I actually don't have an immediate weight goal, although I no longer want to be above 90 kilograms again. It's 189 pounds. 80 kilograms or 176 pounds remains a dream. By the way, as was 100 kilograms when I started this journey, and in fact as was 95 kilograms over the past year and a half. That was kind of my ongoing goal. There have been many non-scale victories along the way as well. My waist and my chest size and my other body measurements, such as my arm and thigh diameter, have decreased substantially. I'm currently still on 10 milligrams of Mounjaro, and together with my physician we saw absolutely no reason to increase the dose to 12.5 milligrams or to 15 milligrams, which is the maximum dose. I'm wondering now if I've reached a plateau of sorts. They're extremely common on Mounjaro, which is the brand name for tirzepatide, and doesn't usually mean that the medications stop working. After substantial weight loss, as has been my experience, your body adapts to a resting metabolic rate which drops, and you've got adaptive thermogenesis, which can further reduce energy expenditure and calorie deficit that previously drove weight loss. It often shrinks and disappears. Then the life factors, the hormone shifts, the ghrelin is up and the leptin is down, and these also play a role. Clinical data and real-world experience, such as my own experience, show that most people hit at least one multi-week stall. One mustn't be deterred, one must just continue doing what one's doing. A practical definition of a true plateau is little or no downward trend for 4 or more weeks. Some doctors say 12 weeks, or less than a 2% change, while dosing and the routine stay consistent. You do get short-term stalls, of course, from water retention. Constipation is often common with these sort of medications. Salt and carb swings, or a measurement variability, which is frequent, and you don't get true fat loss plateaus. I know, for example, if I have food with a lot of salt, that my weight starts fluctuating higher and higher and higher, and then suddenly lower, and then it drops, and it swings. So those are some of the things. There are often common reasons that the scale stalls when you get close to your goal weight. I mean, at 89, I don't think I want to be under 85 kilos. I've dropped down just below 88 once or twice in the past few months, to like 87.6 or 87.4, and then it pops up again. So I don't think I really want to be below 85 kilograms for now. People might want to argue with me, one can have this debate, but what I do know is you have to prioritize protein. Inadequate protein leads to more muscle loss, which then further slows the metabolism. I'm told that muscles really burn calories, and that's one thing that I haven't been paying enough attention to, is strength training, so I've got to do more of that. But studies have also suggested that a notable portion of weight loss on tirzepatide can be lean mass, and then there are no sort of countermeasures. Calorie creep, or the previous deficit that one experienced, is no longer enough, the calorie deficit, so you need to have a greater calorie deficit without starving. And then you get reduced non-exercise activity or insufficient resistance training. And I know in my case, I certainly don't do enough resistance training. I do a little bit, but hardly enough. Then, of course, there are the unfortunate lifestyle factors such as sleep or stress, or even having alcohol. Since being on Mounjaro, I've in effect lost my appetite for alcohol. somewhat worrying since my mother's family were wine farmers in Constantia in Cape Town from 1660 to 1960, so I do feel that I'm letting the team down a bit. And also the Beamish family own a brewery in Ireland, and I never was a great beer drinker, and I don't particularly enjoy it anymore. Although yesterday I was offered a Stella Artois, which I managed one bottle only over a period of about an hour, and actually it was quite pleasant. Also, one can be, not in my case, but one can be on a submaximal dose of tirzepatide, of Mounjaro. Higher doses, of course, have shown higher average losses in the trials, but I feel I'm right on the mark at the moment. The other thing, in terms of non-scale victories, your body composition changes. Fat loss is continuing while the scale holds steady. If your muscle is being built up or preserved, or your water levels are fluctuating, again linked to a salt intake. So that doesn't worry me too much, but you've just got to be aware of it. And sometimes you have to take practical steps to restart the progress, even if you are close to goal weight. And as I keep on saying, and I've said in every video of the videos I put up here, you need to prioritize protein. And I was reading again today that you need to have 1 to 1.6 grams per kilogram of your current or ideal target body weight. So my target weight is 85 kilos. I think 85 to 120 kilograms of meat per day is too low. I actually tell myself I want 2 grams per kilogram of body weight, so I should actually be having 180 grams of steak or some strong protein every day. We're told that it actually helps protect muscle, it supports your satiety, that you don't feel hungry, and that I confirm. And also it has a higher thermic effect. And I've seen that many people tend to undereat protein once your appetite is strongly suppressed. But for me, I believe I should have at least 200 grams of protein a day. I'm told 180 is ideal, but 200. And then people say, listen, you're not eating that much these days, Tony. Spoil yourself and have a 250 gram steak. So between 200 and 250 grams is good. Today I had French duck breast, magret de canard. Last night I had a piece of lamb which was close to 200 grams, and I feel fully satisfied. And the other thing where I'm slipping up is you should have 2 to 3 sessions per week of resistance training. Squatting or hinging or pushing, carrying body weights, bands, other weights, squeezing, hand grips, whatever. I'm clearly not doing enough of this, I can tell you that. One of the reasons is I'm so over debit orders or standing orders in my bank account. I never want to have a gym subscription ever again in my life. If I can find a gym that I'll be at long enough to pay for 3 months or 6 months or a year, up front I'll do that, but I don't want to have a gym subscription. But resistance training is said, and the evidence seems to suggest that it's one of the best ways to preserve lean body mass and metabolic rate during an ongoing loss or even in the maintenance phase, to continue to do this. I use a calorie counting app on my iPhone called Eato, E-A-T-O. And in fact, one of the benefits is that I've been able to check that I've eaten enough. Some days I just don't feel hungry and I don't eat enough. So that's helped me to make sure I've had enough, and also it calculates protein and salt. Yesterday, being a Saturday, I was partying a bit and I seemed to overdo my calorie intake, but nevertheless overnight I lost 0.5 kilogram. There could be a whole host of reasons for that, and without being obsessive about it, what this app does, it helps one to log one's food and drinks carefully. People say you should do it for 1 or 2 weeks. I believe one should do it on an ongoing basis. Portions that once created a calorie deficit may now just amount to a maintenance dose. So you've got to watch your liquid calories. Wine and beer. I had 2 glasses of wine today with the duck breast. Weekend variability and just a bit more snacks. So a modest ongoing deficit will always be required. Then, talking about sleep and stress, it's kind of the basics of it. I never have enough sleep, and over the past 3-4 months of my life, I've had quite a significant amount of stress, which doesn't help. So cortisol is not very good for one. The effects of cortisol is stress. If constipation is a problem, which it isn't for me, you must consider your fluids and your fiber and how much movement. And also, the fact is you have to try and keep your alcohol intake low, which generally I'm pretty good at. I don't really drink anymore, other than on the weekends. And I don't say, here's a weekend I'm going to drink. But if I'm going to have social drinks with friends, I do that. But I don't go to excess. Also, the activity volume. You need to maintain or slightly increase the daily number of steps you do. Initially, last year, since I started in January 2025, I really had to force myself to say, do 10,000 steps a day, do 10,000 steps a day. These days, I've lost so much weight that 10,000 steps actually comes quite easily to me, and some days I manage 20,000 steps without a problem. And in fact, I've had walking successes. In December last year, I managed to walk in one stretch 16 kilometers in exactly 3 hours. And that's after having a good solid steak for breakfast. And that's a speed of just in excess of 5 kilometers per hour. And I wasn't forcing myself, and I didn't feel tired after it. And it wasn't particularly difficult. And then 2 weeks ago, I did several trips of 10 kilometers, which I did in between an hour and 50 minutes, an hour and 55. So that's also doing just over 5 kilometers per hour. It came naturally to me. I didn't have to force it and didn't have to run and say, keep up the time. Other thing I was doing some months ago that really helped me, and I saw also increase my heart health, was that I have started from time to time, only once or twice a month, jogging 2 kilometers. After doing 10,000 steps, I'd have a break and have some water. And say, let me jog 500 meters 4 times. Obviously, I can increase that as time goes on. I'm not ready to increase it, and I'm not pushing myself. I'll talk about that in a little while too before I finish this off. And then, of course, you need to have, with this journey, a medical review. In South Africa particularly, doctors I go to are really expensive, pushing towards 1,200 Rand for a consultation, which is sort of 10 to no longer than 15 minutes. That really is pricey, but you do have to see a doctor. And some people, I still take the injection in my tummy. I use a Mounjaro pen, except when I'm taking the 5th dose, which is a golden dose, which then has to be retrieved with an insulin needle. I'm not up to stabbing myself with a syringe yet. It took quite a bit just to do it with an EpiPen, but we're slowly getting there. Where I'm staying now, about 30 meters or 50 meters from me in that direction, is a vet. I'm going to see my vet later or tomorrow morning and go and have my golden dose of Mounjaro. If you're not yet on the highest tolerated dose, which is 15 milligram, then the side effects should be manageable, although I have to say I've had no bad side effects on Mounjaro. I've only had good side effects. Dose increases show a clear response relationship in trials, but they're not automatic, and you need to have clinical oversight. You can't really do it without a prescription for Mounjaro. But even if you had access to it, don't dose yourself indiscriminately, and don't say, well, listen, I'm taking 10 milligrams every 8 days, now I'm going to take it every 4 days. Just don't do that. Near goal weight, which is where I now find myself, about 5 kilograms above my target weight after a large overall loss. I mean, I've lost 60 kilograms. 4 or 5, less than 5 kilograms, about 4 kilograms from the goal that I'm aiming for. You'll find that the final stretch is a lot slower, and I've been losing every month of this year apart from February, where I was up 0.5 kilogram. I was quite disappointed. I was down 2 kilograms by about mid-February, and suddenly it climbed and climbed, and I wasn't doing anything wrong. So I just told myself, Tony, keep up with the program and keep doing what you're doing. And that sort of saw me through, and so every month I've lost. And let's see, we've got another 2 weeks left of, another week left of August 2026, and I'm now in a position where I can have regular walks and eat healthier, and although my friends want to push me to have a glass of wine every evening, I don't want to do that, or a whiskey. I need to just continue with the program and doing what I've been doing. So these, what I'm telling you, have been general patterns from my own experience and sort of evidenced by clinical literature and what I've read, and I've read fairly extensively over the past year about obesity medicine practice. What I'm telling you is not personalized medical advice. I'm telling you what's kind of worked for me and for friends. You obviously got to take into account individual factors like your dose history, other medications, your exact food take, and your physical activity levels. So work with your doctor who's helping you with your GLP-1 medications. Many people break through or stabilize productively once protein and strength training and a realistic calorie deficit are sort of dialed into your agenda. I do realize, call it my strength training is close to zero. My protein levels are pretty good. And I do have a realistic calorie deficit, but we're all on a long journey and sometimes things change. My secret, as I said, has been to prioritize protein. So last night I had a lovely piece of lamb. Lunchtime today I had duck breast, and tonight apparently I'm having a 150-gram steak with a friend, so I'll be kind of over-proteined. But what I can tell you is that a 200-gram steak or piece of proper meat powers me all day to walk 10 or 20,000 steps with absolutely no problem at all. And following the fitness on my Apple Watch, Apple Fitness app, I have gone over, since the end of last year, from being low cardio fitness to the past 8 months I've been just below average, and currently on a figure of about 20, although 28 is apparently average. I forget the exact what it means, the amount of oxygen you take in. And the jogging has helped. And another downside of being on GLP-1 medications is that I never feel tired, even when I've walked 16 or 20 kilometers a day. So about 3 weeks ago, I did an early evening walk with friends around a shopping precinct, and we kept on walking and walking, and the temperature was right and the energy was right. And I walked 20 kilometers and I went home and I didn't even feel tired. Over the past week, I've been traveling out of South Africa, and week or two, and I've been managing to keep up an average of more than 10,000 steps a day without feeling tired. I must tell you in concluding that last night was particularly amazing, as I went to bed at 10:15, and I slept solidly through till 10:35 this morning. It's probably my best sleep in living memory, and I have no clue what I did to achieve it or deserve it, and I hope that tonight I can repeat the exercise. You'll see from this Mounjaro musings video that I haven't done anything in a while. I felt bad, I've wanted to do it, and time and circumstances just haven't allowed me to do it. I mean, I've either been too busy or feeling too unhealthy to preach on it. But I hope to put on more content soon. So please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. It might encourage me to put up more things about my journey. I also have a new vlogging camera that I'm filming this with. I'm not being paid to market this, but it's the DJI Osmo Pocket 4 camera. That cost me under $1,000 US. It's very good, and I'm using the wireless microphone that goes with it. So as I said, I'm not advertising, but maybe it will encourage me to do more videos. I was previously recording using my iPhone or iPad. So let's give it a bash and put what you have to say in the comments. Contact me directly. Let me know what you think. We're all in this walk together. Have a wonderful week. Bye.